Hello and welcome to my next Let's Play movie. And today we're gonna play Desert Rats 4042, a game about a couple of battles fought in the early stage of the World War II in the Northern Africa between Allies and Axis. In this Let's Play, I'm gonna play first scenario of this game. It is titled Compass 1. And it covers first stage of the Operation Compass. As you can see, we have here an Allied forces ready to attack on Italians, and 2 Italian corps to be precise, a Libyan corps, and 21 corps. To win this battle, Allies have to control a certain number of the key points to gather enough victory points to win the game. We have 2 kinds of the victory points. The first is 1 victory points worth hexes. These are marked with these counters, and they are here, 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 and here, and the other ones are 2 victory points hexes, and these are here. What is pretty unique in this game is that this scenario is quite short. It has 4 turns only, so if Allies want to win, they have to act swift and fast. Italians may seem to have a number advantage, but in fact Allied forces are stronger. They also can use an air support and navy support. So, all in all, Allies seem to be a winning side since the beginning. But to win the battle, they have to push Italians back and control all these key points, which can be quite challenging. I played this scenario I think 3 times so far, and in none of the games Allies managed to control all the victory points. So maybe I did something wrong. I think scenarios like this are not only very good for the movies like this, but they are also quite good for those who are seeking for a quick war game, something that you can set up in the 3 or 4, 5 minutes maybe, and play in 10, maybe 20 minutes. Also, it uses a system Great Battles 1939 and 1945. It is brigade regiment scale. So, as you can see, there is not a big number of units on the board. Allied units are using mostly brigade scale, some are using battalion scale. As for the Italians, they are using also regiment scale, some are using battalion scale, and some particularly weak units like Italian divisions are using division scale. So that would be all when it comes to the introduction, I think. We can start with a game now. So, since we have 4 turns only, we have to make our plan and to keep this plan, since there will be a very little time to change anything. Also, we have to keep on roads, since in this game a supply is very important, and if you move out of the roads, it is harder to get a supply. It is still possible, but the longer you are out of the road, the harder it is to get it. So, Allies have an initiative in this scenario, So they are starting. And I think I'll start with this recon unit armed with light tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 8 movement points, and it moved to the desert trail. Desert trail costs 1 movement point per hex for motorized and mechanized unit, and it will attack these Italians. They have 3 strength points, allies have 2, and they are fortified, so it will be very hard to defend them, defeat them, or just to force them to retreat. So I'm gonna use this ground attack AO unit to support them. I'm gonna also help them with the HQ of the 13 corps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna move it there because it has 4 ranges of support. 4 hexes range of support, so it can support this attack. I hope it will be much more effective. Now, here we have Selby group, and it will attack these Italians. It will be supported by this group of British monitors. I hope it will be enough. And here we have 2 divisions, 7th Armored Division and 4th Hindu Infantry Divisions. And their goal is to break this Italian line of defense and attack on Sidi Barani and maybe later on the Big Back. So, how I'm gonna do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. Like this. And tanks have 1 for moving on the clear terrain. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna attack all the 3 of the Italian units here. I hope these attacks will be effective. I wonder if I should focus maybe on this and this and leave this Italian motorized battalion, but let's try. Maybe it will be good. As you may notice, some of the armored units have black star. This black star means these armored units have additional modifier if attacking, but only if they are attacking non-fortified units. At the beginning of this scenario, all Italian units are fortified, so we won't be using this modifier now. Okay, this will be all for the movement, and now let's start resolving combat. First here we have 2 plus 3, so we have 5. Against 3 in the fortifications, so we have 5 to 3. It gives us I'm gonna use a combat table. 2 to 1. Because of the fortifications we are moving to 1 to 1, and because of the HQ support we are moving to 2 to 1. Now I'm gonna make a 2d6 roll. Okay, I got 6. So this means B2. Italians have to withdraw 2 hexes. 1, 2. So allies are moving here. These fortifications are removed. They are capturing these crossroads and these victory points. But since Italians withdraw 2 hexes, they have to make a disorganization check. I'm gonna make a once again 2d6 roll, and if I roll 7 or more, they will be disorganized. I roll 6, so they survived. Okay, but I'm gonna mark them as retreating. This counter is from another game, but I found it quite useful because if unit was forced to retreat, it can't fortify itself in the next turn. So it's good to remember about it. Now here we have 3 and 7. This gives us 10 against 3. 10 against 3 means 3 to 1. Fortifications gives us +1, so we have 2 to 1, and because of the HQ 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 3 to 1 again. I'm gonna make a roll. I rolled 7. 7 and 3 to 1 means B2 again. Italians are retreating 2 hexes. Allies are following them. This fortifications is going down. This allied brigade stops here to capture this victory point, and this 7th tank brigade moves forward. Italians are marked as retreating, and they have to pass or not disorganization check. I rolled 5, so they passed. Good. Good for them, of course. Now here we have 8 against 2. This gives us 4 to 1. Because of the fortifications, we have 3 to 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4 HQ can support them. So we have 3 to 1. I rolled 11. 11 gives us -1 and -1. This means both sides suffers -1 loss. Italians have only 1 strength level, so they are eliminated, and allies can move on this hex because they eliminated defender, but one of the allied units suffers -1 supply. Why? Because a special rule in this scenario, in this game, says that the number of the Italian prisoners was so big that some units have to slow down because of the guarding the prisoners. And this rule says that every time an Italian unit is disorganized or suffers a loss, you have to place one of the allies' attacking unit with -1 supply. So this can move it quickly here. Now here 8 against 3, it gives us 3 to 1, -1 because of the fortifications, it gives us 2 to 1. I rolled 8, it means B1. But this unit can't retreat. Here is the zone of control of these allies, and this is the hex they cannot enter. So they suffer loss. And finally, one last battle here. Allies have 3 plus 4. This gives us 7. 7 against 2. This gives us 2 to 1. Because of the fortifications, we have 1 to 1. I rolled 3. This means dot B2. B2 means that Italians have to retreat 2 hexes. Here they are marked as the retreating unit, and they have to pass disorganization check. I rolled 6. They are quite lucky. But because of the dot, allies have to pass a disorganization check as well. I rolled 9. They passed. Since for the allies, they are disorganized only if they roll 11 or 12. So they are following retreating Italians. Now we have supply phase. We have to check if allied units are supplied or not. To not make a mistake, I'm gonna check once again. 6, yes. So, how it goes? Supply goes through the roads, but anytime it goes out of the road, there is a number of the movement points that it can utilize to reach the units. For the allies, it is 6 movement points of the motorized units. So, we have supply freely as long as we are on the road, but if we are out of the road, we have to check if the supply still reaches us. So, for this unit, supply is here, and for the motorized units, it costs 2 movement points to enter clear terrain. So, here, 2, 4, 6. This unit is supplied. As for the this unit, it is clearly supplied because the road goes here. All the other all the other allied units are supplied. As for Italians, the road is here, and for Italians, the number of the movement points is only 2. They would have a supply here, but this hex is in the enemy zone of control. Since these allied units have zone of control on this hex, this hex, this hex, this hex, sorry, not this hex, and so. Line of supply can't run through the enemy zone of control, so this unit is out of supply. I'm gonna mark it with the out of supply. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. This is allied supply phase. I'm gonna check for the Italians in their own supply phase. Now we have Italian movement phase. What they could do? I think this regiment will stay here, so I'm gonna remove this withdraw counter. They will join this fellow regiment, and they will form here quite a good defensive positions. So they will make this allied regiment to stay here and not to move any forward, because they can clearly take back this victory hex. And now here I'm gonna move this tank regiment here. Gonna remove this withdraw hex. As for this Libyan division, I'm gonna move it 1 hex back. Why I moved this unit? Because if it would stay here, it would be forced to attack these allies, and it wouldn't be quite wise. I'm gonna let them stay here and keep their defending positions just to slow down allied attacks. And here, these Italians are in the dire straits. They can't move because they are in the zone of control of these allied units, and they cannot move in the same zone of control. And here they cannot move as well, because this is edge of the a slope, and they cannot move through the slope. So they have to stay here. Poor Italians. Okay, as for the others, we have 2 divisions of the Black Shields here. I think I'm gonna keep one division here in Bardia, just to make sure that allies won't do anything stupid, but I will move one of these divisions just to secure these gravy important victory points. This is main road here. Okay, let's start with the turn number 2. We're gonna start with Allied movement phase. So, what about allies? I think I'm gonna fortify this recon unit. It is important to keep this Sofafi area, because there is a victory point here and it is important crossroads. So it will stay here, and even if it's gonna be fortified, I think it will be enough to keep these Italians out of this place. I hope so. Next, I'm gonna continue advance of the Selby group here, supported by the British monitors. I hope it will be enough. And next, I have to think what to do with these units of the 7th Armored Divisions. They have two options: to attack straight on Sidi Barani, or to perform an attack on Bakbak and cut off all these Italians from the supply, because supply for the Italians comes from the western part of the board. So I think I'm gonna try something a bit risky, but this is war, you have to risk to win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It won't be enough to reach this place in this turn, but I hope they'll be able to reach it then. Next, I'm gonna move these tanks here. They will be supported by this brigade, and I hope it will be enough to push these Italians from this place. Let's hope so. As for this British tank battalion, I will keep it here. As you can see, it has supply problems because of the Italian prisoners, so it will stay out of combat for this turn. I'm gonna fortify this unit. Its only goal will be to keep these Italians bound, to keep British zone of control on this hex. So if they will be attacked by this Hindu infantry division, they won't be able to retreat. I'm gonna move this HQ here, so it will be able to support attacks. And that's all. I have this air unit. It can support any attack. I think it will support this attack here, because I can't use both monitors and ground attack aircrafts in the same attack. Okay, that's all for the British movement. Let's go with the British combat phase. First, here we have 8 strength points against 2 strength points. Take a note that Italians are out of supply. They have strength reduced by 1 when they are attacking, but if they are defending, their strength remains the same. So I have 8 against 2, it gives us 4 to 1. Because of the fortification we have 3 to 1, and because of the HQ we have 4 to 1 again. So we'll be checking the result in the 4 to 1 odds. I'm gonna make a roll. I roll 4. 4 means oh sorry, here, dot B3. B3 means that defender has to retreat 3 hexes. It cannot retreat. Its path of retreat is blocked by the zone of control, so it has to lose 3 strength levels. It has only just 1, because it lost 1, so it is eliminated. Allies managed to eliminate this unit. Because of that, this allied brigade has a lack of supply 1 because of this number of the Italian prisoners, but also both of the Hindu units have to pass this organization check because of this dot. So I'm gonna roll for this brigade first. I rolled 4th, they passed, and then for this brigade I rolled 6, they passed. So this unit may move 3, because Italians were forced to retreat 3 hexes. So 1, 2, 3. It moves here. Now then, Selby group, it has 3 plus 4, it gives totally 7 against 3. It gives us 2 to 1, but Italians have the HQ here, so it gives us, it was 2 to 1, it is 1 to 1. Gonna make a roll. I rolled 9 with 1 to 1. 9 means -1. Attacker has to suffer 1 loss. So Italians fought better than I expected. And final attack here. We have 9 against 6. It is 1 to 1. Oh sorry, no, I have +3 because of the AO units, so I have 12 against 6, so it gives us 2 to 1. Because of the commander we have 3 to 1, and Italians are in the fortification, so there is 2 to 1, and because of the Italian HQ we have 1 to 1. So it won't be a piece of cake for British. I rolled 5. 5 means dot B1. So Italians are forced to retreat. They are retreating here, and British units has to check if they weren't disorganized. First for this brigade I rolled 3, it is safe, and then for the armored brigade I rolled 9, they are safe. So they are moving forward, and Italians are marked with the retreat counter. So now it is British supply phase. I'm gonna remove this counter because this unit has a supply in this phase, so it won't have any problems with supply. This unit has a supply as well. This unit lost supply because of the prisoners, so it remains unsupplied. Okay, that's all for the British units. As now let's see how Italians will do. Now this Black Shirts division, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are gonna stay here to defend this important area around Hellfire Pass. And now here, Italians here have problem, because these British tanks cut their line of supply, and they might be in troubles. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Italians are thinking about that the best thing for them must be to retreat. But it will be hard to retreat with all these British units on their back. As for Italy, that's all for Italian movement. Italians are not attacking, but now we are moving to the Italian supply phase. Because of this unit here, all these units of the Libyan corps are out of supply. I'm gonna mark them with supply -1. For now it's not a big deal, but it won't be later. That's all for the turn number 2.